Hello again and welcome to the channel. If you clicked on this video, I know for a fact that you have a skill in mind that you always wanted to master or to learn. You just couldn't learn it because it didn't seem to click for you. Let's do a quick exercise. Just close your eyes and imagine you doing that cool skill that you always wanted. Imagine people looking at you. Imagine you succeeding in every way, in every possible situation, scenario, everything. Just be detailed. Where you'll be doing that skill, who's gonna be watching, how you're gonna do it, how you will look, and all that stuff. Think for a moment. How would your life be if you learned that skill? If you think that skill wouldn't be as life-changing or as important to you, then we might have a problem. You might not desire it hard enough that you actually put the work in it. So before continuing to watch this video, I highly encourage you to write down the skill that you want and to really think if that is appropriate for you to learn or not. Okay, and now for the rest of people who are really into learning that one skill, I'm here to help. Let's get it. The first thing that we need to talk about is your focus and how you can improve it. Because most likely when you wanted to learn something, you just do that for 5 minutes and then just wandering around your mind, scrolling on your phone and not giving too much attention and too much thought on what you were doing. And after that, chilling for more 10-15 minutes, started to do that thing again for like 5-7 minutes and the cycle repeated itself. So after quote unquote long day, you had, let's say, maximum half an hour of training that one skill that you say so in your mind that is so important. So the easiest way that I can teach you to do that is by meditating, because meditation is the foundation of presence and focus. I already have a meditation guide on this channel, so if you want more details you can check that out. But simply put, you just have to sit, put a timer. I recommend you first start with 5 minutes. So basically you're just gonna focus on your breathing, and every time you get a thought in your mind, you just realize that, you go back breathing and thinking about breathing. So basically you just try to think of nothing as much as possible. And don't get mad if you don't get it first try or it's very hard at the beginning, because everybody gets thoughts. It's a normal part of having a healthy brain. But it is more important and more healthy that you can acknowledge those thoughts and you can put them away and focus on what you were doing. I think you can now see why meditation and focus on learning a new skill goes hand in hand, and how it can be useful to you and get a lot of value out of it. If you ever watch Andrew Huberman, you know that when he talked about focus, he talked about an exercise that will check if you are focused enough, and that is focusing on one point for at least 30 seconds and see if you can do that without looking in other directions or just getting your mind wandering around. Because as he said, mental focus and visual focus are heavily correlated. So we're gonna do another quick exercise where I'm gonna put a dot on the middle of the screen, and I want you to focus on that dot for the time being. And then I want you to write somewhere, maybe on a piece of paper, on a notepad document, or just in the comments. It doesn't really matter, just have it somewhere. How many seconds you've lasted. And then after trying for a week meditating, come back to this video and try to do the exercise again. Maybe again reply to your own comment or next to the paper. How much did you improve? How many seconds you added more? Now congratulations, you just learned how to troubleshoot if you have a bad focus problem or not. More than that, you learned also how you can improve it by doing this simple exercise if meditation doesn't suit you. So if you just don't want to meditate, I highly encourage you to do this exercise at least once a day. You can come back to this video or you can just search on YouTube. Okay, if you ever played sports or video games, you already know that you got that one guy or that one player who's just so good in every aspect. You always looked at him with a bit of jealousy and a competitive desire to excel him and to be better than him, just because he's in your social circle, in your video game lobby, in your team, and so on and so forth. Always getting that one guy had ignited in you a desire, a feeling of getting so good that I'm just better than everybody in that aspect. in that game or in that sport. I just had a big competitive desire. And I know if you watch this video so far, you also have that one thing. We have that thing in common. And this sensation just makes you, after you're done with the game, after you're done with the match on the sport team, after that you just want to go and learn and learn and learn, so you can have all the tools necessary and to repeat everything that you just learned, so you can go as hard and as good as possible, so the next day or the next time that you're playing, you're just gonna be better than everyone else. You're just gonna be so better that that guy that you aspire to be as good as, that he couldn't even keep up with you. That is the competitive desire. That's the needing to excel your peers and to become the strongest in your group. You know, this sensation is normal in humans because takes back to the times when we were cavemen and we had to hunt to survive. So always the strongest one would get the most animals, the best fish, and the most resources on everything. So we had to be competitive and to give it all we had so we could survive and we could live better days. And this just evolves to be a part of our normal brain. And we can harness that sensation to help us learn new skills. And I think you already picked up how you can do that. And it's pretty straightforward. You just need to find somebody that is better than you in that skill, or it's very good at that skill that makes you learn as hard and as fast as possible. It can be anyone, maybe someone you know, or maybe someone on the internet. It doesn't matter. As long as you have someone that you want to compete and have the desire, the feeling to become better than him, it will help you grow a lot faster and a lot better than if you're just trying to learn simply. Because that competitive mindset really puts you in an urge. Okay, now let's talk about neuroplasticity. What is that? Well, basically, you have some chemicals and some neurons in your body that are capable of learning new things and adapting to your environment. Basically, that's what your brain uses for his survival and for his machine learning, like the AI tools. So when you're trying to learn something new and you fail a couple of times, your brain is gonna take notice of that, and eventually when you're gonna do the right thing, your brain is gonna also take note of that and will be engraved in your memory. After you get a good quality sleep in that time, that's what your brain is doing. He's assimilating the information that he had that day and he's learning new stuff, so he adjusts and advances. Okay, so let me tell you an example that I had earlier. Sometimes I go by bus to my hometown. And so this week I was thinking about improving my social skills by trying to talk to as many people as possible and trying to have more meaningful conversation and just try to make new friends. So what I did after somebody sitting next to me on the bus, started to have a conversation with him based on his clock on the phone, because he had an always on display and he had a pretty fine looking clock, a font of that clock that I really found interesting. So I just asked him about it. How did he do it? Did he have the third-party program installed, and so on and so forth. And so after that simple question, we ended up talking about cars, people, life, and we ended up speaking for the whole ride. Amazing experience, and we really connected. Because if you ever read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, you know that he also speaks about finding something interesting in the other person that you value and just ask him about that. So that's what I was trying to do. And what I can tell you by that, because I also tried this a couple of times, not every time worked, but this time it was very good. So what will my brain do tonight? Will just assimilate my experiences and will take note of that, and now I know how to start a conversation every time I want. Also, during the whole conversation, I also did some other tricks from that book and I saw some mixed results, but eventually after trying during that long conversation, I got some pretty good results out of those as well. So the next morning that I'm gonna wake up, I will be a more social adapted person. I will be more sociable and my social skills will skyrocket. If you actually think about this neuroplasticity thing, it kind of feels like a superpower. Your brain just automatically learns how to do something by just succeeding one time and failing a bunch of times before. That is pretty powerful because you don't need to repeat the same thing over and over until you find success. You just need to find it once and you're good to go. As long as you have in mind that you want to learn something and you're willing to put the effort to learn and get that experience from the other people and from yourself. So the next time after you watch a video about a skill or you learned about some concept in a book, just try to apply that concept as much as possible in your life. And you will wake up the next day more successful and more capable on that skill. Well, that's a lot of information that you have to take in consideration. But you don't know what to learn first. Well, I got the right solution for you. I have made a free guide for you where I teach you how to make money using social media. In this way, you can read the document and you can try to apply the concepts that are in there and see through your own eyes how this neuroplasticity thing is so powerful. And while you're at it, you'll also learn how to make money. So I would say it's a win-win for you. Now, I hope you got a lot of value out of this video and I hope I'll see you soon. Have a great day.